If you're 40 plus and you're fat, you're cooked. Think about that. You're in the middle of your life. You're fat. You're sloppy. You probably got sore muscles. You probably got an aching back, sore legs, maybe some bad knees. Your feet are hurting a lot. Maybe your insoles or your shoes are getting flat. Maybe you're single. Maybe you're trying to find somebody that's worth settling down with. If you're fat, good luck. If you're 40 plus and you got kids and you're fat, what kind of example are you setting for them? What kind of role model are you setting for the next generation of people walking around? Think about that. But I want to go over a couple things that I think are important for people to consider when you're in your 40s, because there's a lot of things that people don't think about when they're 20, when they're 30, even when they're 40, and even older. But I've been a few places and I've seen a few things, and I just want to share a couple thoughts with men in your 40s and really younger men out there that might be considering different paths in life. And hopefully, if you're younger than me, you can see the future, for yourself, and consider a few things that I talk about, because it's just important that when you're getting older, you take care of yourself, right? I know guys that they got pacemakers. They're in their 40s and they have pacemakers. I don't know how common that is, but to me, that's exotic. Nobody in their 40s should have a pacemaker unless you got like heart problems. But it's because they're overweight and their heart's weak. Now, if they lost about 200 pounds, maybe through that physical activity, the heart might be stronger and that pacemaker might be redundant. I don't know. But I just think it's kind of sad to have to live the majority, hopefully the majority of the remainder of your life, stricken with a device in your body like a pacemaker or like a gastric bypass or a lap band surgery or whatever they do for the gut, for the stomach, those invasive surgical procedures for people. And a lot of them are in their 40s. A lot of them are in their 30s getting this stuff done. But to encompass the whole picture, if you're 40 plus and you're fat, you're cooked. You got to uncook yourself. Now, some of you fellas might be overcooked. It's going to take you a little longer to decookify, but it can be done. It can be done. People have lost hundreds of pounds to save their own ass because somebody told them. Or maybe they had the realization when they looked at themselves in the mirror and said, whoa, I got to do something about this. But people have changed their life and uncooked themselves. But 40 plus, odds are you got kids, you got a wife, you got a job. So everybody relies on you to be healthy and ready for work. Because if you can't work, you can't support your wife and you can't support your kids. So you got to take care of your health and start moving around. For me, my job required me to drive a van a lot. I had to go up and down flights of stairs on a regular basis. I had to carry things multiple dozens of feet on a regular basis. It required a certain level of physical fitness to do that stuff. So every day I did it, my work. I didn't prepare my body for the physical work. So every day I was sore. Every day my back hurt, my legs hurt, my knees hurt, my feet hurt. And I was working 12-hour days. Summertime was especially bad, brutal heat, still working hard, aching all the time. One of my doctors told me a long time ago, Tom, you ever thought about working out and, exercising a little bit, losing a little bit of weight? And I told him, yeah, I thought about it. You want to talk to me about something else? You know, typical doctor stuff. And I really didn't care. I was still drinking. I was still smoking and doing, fast food and other stuff, and just wasn't putting the right inputs into my body. And it caught up with me. But we're talking about you being 40 plus and being cooked. Your health is primary, because if you can't work, you can't pay your bills, and you can't do anything that you really want to do, like travel, go on trips, go to movies, buy clothes, go out to restaurants, go out on dates, stuff like that. So your health should be the primary concern. You want to be physically fit, even if you're not totally shredded, even if you're not totally, peeled or ripped, shredded, whatever you want to call it. If you are at a reasonable body weight, your heart is going to be healthier. Your heart's going to be stronger. You're not going to have, heart problems, congestive heart failure, uh, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, all that stuff. You're going to be working, your body. It's going to be pumping blood, circulating. Your feet aren't going to be getting cold as much. Your feet are also going to have proper circulation. I would recommend wearing socks to bed to keep your feet warm. I've got those purple veins on the side of my heels or ankles or whatever. I don't know if those are spider veins, varicose veins, or what those are, but I'm 40. I'm sure a lot of people have those. I've had them for probably 10 years plus. I can't remember how long I've had them, but it's probably from wearing boots, probably from, walking a lot, carrying heavy stuff. But had I been exercising in my 20s, in my 30s, making sure my blood flow was, proper, maybe that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. But think about that. I used to run 10 miles at the gym, wasted a lot of time, progress. I thought I was putting in some work, going to the gym for 3 hours, running for an hour, lifting for an hour, sitting in the steam room, hot tub, whatever for an hour. I didn't see any change. It was upsetting. It was frustrating. I didn't know what I was doing. I was working out with some buddies. They were reading magazines. I was reading magazines. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have guys like me talking about their experience, just putting it out there. but you guys do. So think about your health. All right. If you're overweight, you lose the body fat, you're going to get stronger usually. And you might notice that your achy back, achy feet, or whatever ain't hurting as much as it used to. Also, you're going to be setting yourself up for a healthy heart, healthy lungs, healthy back, healthy shoulders, healthy hips, all that stuff. Because you might know somebody that's a little older than you getting hip replacement surgery. You might have family members getting knee replacement surgery, hip replacement surgery, shoulder replacement surgery. All those different super invasive, super crazy surgeries. And it probably all could be avoided by physical rehabilitation and physical muscular strengthening over the course of time. Working the joints, the hip, range of motion, mobility stuff. I got these kind of exercises I do in my personal training, routine. You don't have to complicate it, but you have to do it the right way. So do some research, figure out the best way for you to train, whether that's running, whether it's home fitness, going to the gym, CrossFit, uh, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, whatever. But you got to do something, and you got to lock in, and you got to keep it up, because you're going to thank yourself later when you're healthy and all your other buddies aren't. They're going to be asking you what you've been doing to stay so healthy all this time. Walking, running, you know, just simple stuff, moving around, not sitting on your ass, stuffing your face with Cheetos, you know? So, moving on. You got your health sorted out, and now, you look good. What's next? Well, now you're dating, being fit, being lean, being healthy. That's going to help attract a proper mate. That's going to bring somebody else that's just like you into your circle, because you're going to start to go to the vitamin shop. You're going to start going to, the gym. You're going to start going to the athletic clothing store or other places where athletic type people go. They're going to see you. You're going to see them. You keep, returning to the same establishments, you're bound to run into the same people. And then you're going to get friendly, because obviously you're going to be friendly. You're going to be in a good mood. You're going to be healthy and happy, smiling, and you're going to be jovial. You're going to wave to people. People are going to wave to you. You're going to be attractive. People are going to want to say hi to you. People like being nice to other people. But when you look like you're angry at the world, when you're looking down, when you're frowning, when you're slouching, nobody wants to talk to you. You look like you're in a bad mood. But if you're standing tall, walking with your chest out and your shoulders back, head up, looking forward, people can see that. And they can see that looks like confidence. And they might want a little taste of that. So they're going to say hi. And maybe you notice them and you wave back and say hi. How you doing? Or what up? Or whatever the, greeting is. That little interaction might set their course for the whole day. And that might just do something for them and put them on a positive path for the whole rest of the day or longer. Who knows? Maybe that little switch could turn their day from maybe their morning wasn't so good to, hey, they said hi. It's going to be a good day. You know? Because a lot of things are automatic. People walk by, they nod, they, put their hand up, they'll move out of the way or whatever. And just those simple interactions with other people mean a lot. And you might not know them, you probably don't know them. But when you're pleasant and you're civil and you're nice, it goes around and people are nice right back to you. So you're dating, you look good, you're walking around confident, your clothes fit proper, you're not sloppy, You don't got Cheeto dust, wipe it on your shirt, you know. You got your hair done, you got your beard and your mustache, nice and lined up or whatever, shaved off, however you like it. It's going to help you attract somebody that's worth it, because you don't want to waste your time and settle for some booger wolf. Shout out to Wraith Rasai, my big guy, talking about booger wolves all the time. And I didn't even know what the hell that was. But you don't want to lock one of those down, and then you got you a 600-pound wife. You want to be able to get you a nice young lady who's going to be able to take care of the kids, who's going to be mobile and doing stuff, and it's going to want to be there and take care of you. Who's going to want to keep you, and it's going to want to work hard because you look good, and somebody else might snatch you away. So you got to look the part. You got to look respectable. You got to, look healthy and happy and fit. So it's also going to transfer into the relationships, because your lady's going to know that you keep commitments to yourself, that you're eating healthy, that you're not keeping secrets, snacking when nobody's looking, hiding cookies under the bed, keeping a refrigerator in your bedroom. She's going to be able to trust you, that you're taking care of yourself. You know how to cook food. That probably comes with the expectation that you can make some food. That something ladies always love about a man who can cook and looks good. But the commitment, the respect, it'll be there. And it's going to continue into being a role model for your children and for other children. And let's say, for instance, your girl, might have kids. Maybe they're not your kids. You have to be twice the man as somebody else, because they already have somebody to compare you to. And if you're coming into the relationship fat and sloppy, or you let yourself get fat and sloppy and you get cooked, them kids are going to see that. And your lady's going to have to think about what their feelings are and how they feel about you. You know what I'm saying? But if you look good and you're on body game, or even if you're working on yourself, they can see that, and they can see that you're struggling, that you're sore, that you're pushing through it. Yeah, you might be complaining that you're aching or whatever, but you're still doing it. Showing them that hard work pays off, showing them that sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do, because that's what adults do. It's called responsibilities and commitments. And if you're on body game, if you're fit, you keep commitments to yourself and other people. And if you're fat and sloppy, the only commitment you got is to the cookies. Think about that. And if you're 40 plus and you're fat and you've got a cookie addiction, you're cooked. It's in the name. But you got to take a look in the mirror, see what you're doing isn't healthy. Because if you're 40 plus, fat and single, you got a long way to go, brother. Because you got to get not fat and not single. And then you got to get 50. But if you're not doing too hot and you're 40 plus, you're cooked. You're fucking cooked. So we got health. We got chicks. We got kids. What else? Money. If you're fat and you're over 40, what are you spending your money on? Because I can probably assure you, you spend more time in the drive-thru than you would at the grocery store. You're spending way more money on fast food than you would at the grocery store. And you think you're probably eating better than you would at a grocery store. And maybe you are. I don't know. I get people tell me all the time, I don't eat that much. I don't eat that much. Well, if you don't eat that much, why do you weigh nearly 3 times what I weigh? Why do you weigh twice what I weigh? If you don't eat that much and you're a lady and you're taller than me, why do you weigh twice my weight? Unless you eat more than you think you eat. Or you're lying to me. But you can lie to me, you can lie to the police, you can lie to yourself. But the scale don't lie. Calories don't lie. That pocketbook doesn't lie. I made a comment in one of my other videos that I took my boy out to Subway and it was like $15. It was like 13 something. It was probably 15 for a foot-long sub combo, 2 cookies and a drink, $15. And I bought a whole pork tenderloin. It was like 7 pounds of meat for $15. And I made the comparison to him and I let him know that this is one of the main reasons why we don't eat this shit more than we have to. And that's one of the main reasons why I wasn't eating it, but I was doing a cut. I'm still in the process of a diet phase right now, but at the time I was not having any fast food takeaway. So, but the point I was making to him was, instead of feeding yourself one time for a meal, or maybe you even get 2 meals out of it, I don't know. But a foot long sub doesn't go very far. But 1 meal, maybe 2 meals for one person versus 7, well, 14 8-ounce portions. 14 8-ounce portions versus 1 Subway sandwich, 2 cookies, and a soda. How can you even compare those 2 things? Like, that's crazy. And I was paying for Wendy's in the morning, Subway in the afternoon, Hardee's or Taco Bell at night, or some combination, not in that order. But fast food was breakfast, fast food was lunch, fast food was dinner, and then for dessert, maybe something at the house, and maybe some beer. Drinking Red Bulls in the daytime, sugar central. Every fast food meal came with a Sprite, sugar central. I didn't know, I didn't care. But the money, $10 a dinner, $10 a breakfast, trying to find the cheapest price in town, going to Wendy's for the $5 biggie bag, going to Taco Bell for $2 burritos, going to McDonald's for buy one, get one for $1 McDoubles. You know what I'm talking about. I just left a comment on Race for Size channel that McDonald's is jumping like a block party, baby. That party's always popping. And someday, I'm going to get me a McDonald's franchise. Hell yeah. I love money more than I love making cheeseburgers, but damn, I'll find a way to make them healthy. 97.3, lean ground beef. Anyway, so you save money making the food yourself and getting on body game and being healthy, because think about how much food you're actually eating. If you're fat and a 40 plus, you're eating a shitload of food, brother. A shitload of food. Shitloads. And maybe the quantity isn't that great. Sure, I hear you. But the amount of calories in that quantity of food is outrageous. Outrageous. Start counting your calories. You might be surprised. But when I go to work and I've got my 500 calorie pound and a half lunch that's filled with vegetables, 8 ounces of meat, and a monster to wash it down, I get stuffed. And if you eat two of those every day, plus a breakfast, you're going to be losing weight. You're probably not going to feel hungry at all, except for at your meal times. And you might feel, cramps and other slight discomfort from the visceral fat and the actual fat breaking down. Because if you've handled, uh, raw meat, then you know how tough muscle and gristle can be. We have that in our body. So you have to consider that when you're losing fat. Some of that fat is very dense. It's very clingy, very clingy. Trust me, if you've ever processed chicken, pork, beef, whatever, like beef ribs, come on now. Like, there's so much tight, packed in fat that's just like glue. And as you're losing the fat and as it's shrinking away, everything is getting tight. So you're feeling your organs get closer together. You're feeling your muscles not be so stretched out because all the guts are pushing them, you know? Your skin might start itching because it's shrinking and getting tighter as you're moving around, as you're exercising. I've got loose skin. My belly skin hangs over my pants and my underwear. But just recently, it's actually becoming to where it's just basically the skin. I've been trying to maintain my body composition for a while, and I've recently gotten into a another diet phase where I'm trying to lose body fat, and I'm getting really close to my goal body fat percentage. But the whole point is, throughout the whole process, I've had chunks of dense fat inside my body, and that's going to have to get broke up as you're exercising and as you're losing the fat. So you might have extra fat in your lat muscles. You may have extra fat in your chest muscles, in your abdominal muscles, or your legs or your glutes. But just have faith that as you keep exercising and as you keep stretching and moving the muscles and the skin around, it will tighten up. Now, if you're like super cooked and you're like 400 plus pounds, you might have some stretch marks. You might have some, other loose skins. I'm not like a pro at skin and stuff like that. But I know for me, my belly used to hang over about 3.5, 4 fingers from my body, and now it doesn't. And my skin is basically hangs over totally flat. So like wherever my underwear band is, my belly just kind of hangs over that, and it's getting tighter as the days go by. And certainly once I'm done and reach my goal body weight, body fat percentage, then I'm going to start, lean gaining or whatever they call that. But I'm at a comfortable body weight right now, comfortable body fat percentage. I really don't need to lose anymore specifically for like any, speed purposes or whatnot. So if I go over the next, 5 months and I'm eating clean and, not eating like shit, I'm going to lose the rest of the body fat percent that I'm trying to lose. And it's not even going to feel like a diet. And I can still fit in, cakes and the occasional donuts and ice cream and stuff like that. But the main staple, meat, vegetables, starches, grains, potatoes, carbs, and, milk and breakfast type stuff. Not eating a lot of sweets, not eating a lot of cookies, and not eating fast food. Very, very rarely am I eating fast food. I honestly hate not bringing my lunch to work these days because just a sheer I don't want to say delight, but it's just very satisfying that I don't have to go chase my food down. I don't have to go wait in line behind God knows who else. Then I have to rush to eat my lunch, make it back to work before my break is over. It's it makes my anxiety um, ramp up. You know what I'm saying? And every day it's guaranteed. I know my food is going to taste out of this world. And I bring my lunch, it's slamming, it fills me up. I have expectations. When you go to the drive-through, you have the expectations that it's going to taste the same every single time. And it probably does. But man, there's them times where you get your shit and you get it home and that order is fucked up. And now you're out of time and you got to eat a fucked up lunch. So how does that spoil your day? Think about that. But you go to work packing your lunch, cost you $5, and you've got a humongous 2-pound buffet, and now you got all the time on your lunch to eat it at a relaxed pace and enjoy it, chew it. I see these guys getting DoorDash and they've only got 5 minutes to eat. I've had the lunch break where I literally had no time to eat because the drive-through line took up all of my lunchtime. I've nearly been in trouble for taking a long lunch because the goddamn drive-through kept me locked in the drive-through and I had already paid. So think about shit like that. You're saving money and time. And it's not even like you're putting that much time into making the food. Like you're literally going to the grocery store, having a walk, throwing some stuff in a basket, and taking it home. And then you get home, you put it in the fridge, and then you pick it out one at a time and you cook it. And if you're like me, you like it simple. I take the meat, I dump out the blood, I put it in a container, put the sauce already from a bottle. I go down the sauce aisle and I just pick one, whichever one looks good. I've been trying to pick the same flavors pretty routinely because I I don't like to try things, So if I've got to feed my family and we're trying new sauces and it's a bomb, I'm getting heat, and I don't like catching heat for fucking up dinner. So I usually stick with tried and true, teriyaki and barbecue sauce and a couple other, things will mix in there, Caribbean jerk and just different herbal type, savory type flavors. But the point is, you're saving time, you're saving money. That's the thing. You're spending a bunch of time in the drive through, pissing away time, waiting for somebody else to serve you. You should serve yourself. I mean, that's what a man does. I know single guys that tell me they ain't got time to meal prep or to even make dinner at home. They'll get a microwave tray bake, beep, boop, beep, boop, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and that's how you make dinner. They don't have the skills to cook, and they're in their 30s. Some of these guys are in their 40s and don't know how to cook a fucking pork tenderloin or even a hamburger for that matter. But they know how to use a phone. They know how to look up recipes and other things on YouTube. I don't know if they have kitchen equipment, but it's a skill issue, but it's a desire issue. They don't want to put in the work. So again, men, this is a wake-up call. If you're 40 plus and you're fat, you're cooked. I told you all the reasons why not being fat is better for you. I told you all the reasons why being fat and being over 40 is cooking your soul. You're going to be 50, can't walk, single, gooning, eating Cheetos and cakes and candies, drinking sodas, Red Bull, so you can stay up all night, so goon some more. You're going to be single and lonely, and you're going to be fat, and you're going to be broke because you're spending all your money on food and health care. But the cheapest health care I ever got was the $70 P90X DVD set, the $10 used copy of the P90X, the $30 used, slightly brand new copy of the P90X3. Those are some health care costs. Invest in yourself. Invest in your future. Because if you're 40 and over and you're fat, you're fucking cooked, brother. You're fucking cooked. Get the message. Wake up. Check out my other videos for training. See how I did it. I used to be 215 pounds. Now I'm 137 pounds, clocked in on a scale in the middle of a diet cut. Not even feeling like I'm starving. I'm into week 4 right now of my 21-day shred, extending it out to another 21 days just to see if we can lose the rest of this fat that I got on me. Check out my videos and see how much body fat I got. Am I a fat motherfucker? I don't know. But like this video, so subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below. I'm trying to show men in their 40s, stay-at-home dads, get on body game, take control of your life, take control of your health, because nobody's going to do it for you. Your doctor's going to blow smoke up your ass. He's going to charge you for the visit, and then he's going to ask you how it feels. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Your future you is going to be thanking you later. Putting in the hard work, showing up every day, pushing through the pain and the discomfort. Because the hard work pays off, fellas. And if you got a weak heart, you got to test that weak heart and get it to the limits so you can get a stronger heart. If you've got a weak back, you got to push it to the limit and find out how weak your back is so that you can get stronger. And then you got to test it along the way to find out how much of a difference it's making, because maybe the training that you're doing ain't effective and there's something else that's more effective. But you got to keep checking in every so often and checking your progress, because as long as you're putting in the work, you will make progress. I've been doing all of my home fitness, doing a DVD workout, and I have shaped my body doing home fitness exclusively. I started walking at the gym back when I was 215 pounds. I think I tried to lift a dumbbell set like once, and I got sore and I couldn't lift it. And I gave up trying to lift weights at the gym. But I didn't give up on my health, and I kept at it, and I showed up every day, and now I'm ripped. I'm getting shredded. I'm healthy. People are telling me I look healthy. I've had people tell me I look sick. I get people tell me I'm bald all the time. But most people acknowledge that I've lost weight, because a lot of people know me from years ago when I was fat. And now they know me, and I'm not fat. So make that change, fellas. Take control of your life. Take control of your dating, your health, your kids, and your money. Get some respect. Have some dignity. Man up. Be a commander and show them what a man looks like. Don't be a slug. Have the heart of the lion, the hunger of the wolf, and the eye of the tiger, because you have what it takes. Don't listen to the haters. They want you to stop. They're going to tell you that you're skinny enough. They're going to tell you that you're looking weak, you're looking sick, you're at victim weight, all the other stuff, them slight, remarks, them comments, whatever. But you keep grinding. Eventually, they're going to be your biggest fans, and they're going to be wanting to know how you got so jacked, what you've been doing. They've been there the whole time. They've been watching you every day. And then all of a sudden they want to ask you what you've been up to. Years in the making. Years in the making to uncook myself. I fucked myself up pretty good. And it's going to take a while to unfuck myself. And you're going to feel the same way, fellas. As once you get started, you're going to say, God damn, I got to work all this off. I have to work in reverse for how long? Just to get back to the good starting point so I can start building muscle. Anyway, check me out on TikTok at Tom Smoke Fitness. Drop a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. We had 7,000 viewers at the live show last night. It's a really big milestone. We had a lot of subscribers, 30 people join the team, and appreciate the support, joining up on the channel, and really letting everybody know that you're not alone. We're all in this together as men, trying to raise the next generation of men, showing the women what men are supposed to be acting like, what they're supposed to be looking like, showing the future generation of women how men treat women with respect, dignity, honor, love, compassion, tenderness, fairness, loyalty, honesty. It goes on and on and on. But like the video, check out my other videos for training and tips and progress, diet, and other stuff. Check out my guys, Wraith Versailles, Elevate Every Man, Luther Vasulian, Brandon Carter, Brandon Clark, Noto Content, Tarek Talks, Southpaw Huncho, all these guys. All these guys. They're doing good things. And we just want to let you guys know you ain't got to complicate fitness. You ain't got to complicate getting in shape. A lot of things work. A lot of things get the job done. You're comparing a house. How do you build a house? What do you mean? There's a bajillion ways to build a house. What kind of house you want? How tall? What kind of roof? What kind of siding? Like all this stuff goes into your body. You start losing fat, you get to decide how slim you want to be. You get to decide how muscular you want to be. If you want to have a slim physique, you want to have an athletic, aesthetic type jacked physique. Do you want to max out your natural capabilities and then talk to your doctor about getting on HRT or some other bullshit, taking some peptides? They got over the counter, oral steroids that motherfuckers can take. I don't know what kind of long term, gains they're for, but there's lots of products that are out there on the market for adults, for men to use. There's a lot of hocus pocus and phony baloney stuff out there. You're going to have to figure that out on your own, fellas. They got review pages. You could check out Garage Gym Homie. He's got stuff all over the place. Review Bros. They just, all of them. Just do your research and do your real work in the real world, because talk is cheap and you got to put your money where your mouth is. put up. That's all it is. Because you either man up or you man down. That's all there is to say. Respect and love everybody. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for supporting every single one of yourselves. Because, if you found this channel and you made it all the way to the end, that proves that you're serious about this shit and you want to change your life. You're changing your life and you should be proud of yourself. Billions of people ain't doing this shit. Billions of people don't care about their own health and their life. Like they want to, like they don't want to live. What does that say about people in general? They don't want to work for 30 minutes for themselves, but they want to spend money to have an experience that is going to lead them to health problems, whether that's drinking, smoking, eating fast food, eating the crumble cookies and the Dunkin' Donuts and all the other bullshit. You're paying for that experience, and then you're going to pay later with your health, with your kids' health. But you're taking matters into your own hands, and you're doing the thing. Be proud of yourself. Billions of people ain't doing the work. They ain't trying to get shredded. They ain't trying to get ripped. They ain't showing up to the party, and they ain't doing the dance. But you are. So keep dancing. We've got a whole lot of dancing left to do. Because the night's young, and so are we. But we ain't getting no younger, fellas. Trust that. So take it from me, Tom Smoke. You're going to get ripped. That's all it takes, man. 20% body fat, 15% body fat. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop eating fast food. Start eating normal stuff. No chips, no snacks, no sodas, sugar-free. Cook your food in the oven, not in the microwave. Don't call DoorDash. Don't call the Pizza Hut. Don't call Papa John's and tell him to come over. Go to the grocery store. Get your food. Go forage. Go hunt. Go be a man. Show the kids what a man looks like. Command respect. You can do it. You are doing it. You have what it takes. You have the eye of the tiger, the heart of the lion, and the hunger of the wolf. Check out my 90-day challenge. It's tough. It'll get the job done. P90X, you can do that shit from home. You ain't got to worry about a lot of other stuff. You put the DVD in, you do the dance, and when the dance is done, you can get your prize. And I love prizes. So check out my other videos. I got a lot of shit going on, and I got a lot of stuff coming out every day, and a lot more on the way. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, follow me on TikTok. Later.